Well, I'm starting off the show reading some of the chats, and right off the bat, I can't help but agree with Anthony O'Mealis or Nealis. Disappointment all around. So tonight we're going to talk some disappointment. Disappointment in U.S. men's national team, and of course, disappointment in Inter Miami. But I'm not going to talk about this disappointment by myself. So let's welcome in our buddy, our pal, everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed.
Peter Brown. Look at me. I'm wearing my American Outlaws. I was wearing my American Outlaws and everything, supporting the USA because I was like, all right, Inter Miami lost, but USA is going to make this happen.
Right. But and we'll get into it a little bit. As much as you guys want, we'll talk about whatever you want. It's never easy when the U.S. team travels to these CONCACAF, countries, and I don't know why. Because it doesn't matter what crop of players it is; it's always the same problem. So let's dig into that a little bit tonight. But before we do all of that, we of course want to say a big thank you to our sponsor, and that is Caneswear. Caneswear is the place to go to get all your Inter Miami gear. They've got it all. They've got the shirts with the club sponsor. You want to get that on XBTO. You want to get that on the new jersey, no problem. You want to get on the old jersey, no problem. And Ed, they've got some amazing sales coming up this week.
Oh wow, what happened?
So, last week we were promoting the fact that Caneswear had a code that you could use. Forget about that code. They're doing something better. You don't need a code anymore. Just go to Caneswear.com or go in the store, and they're doing 40% off on the white home jerseys.
Wow.
40%. And
that's good stuff.
40% off the black jerseys from last year, the Rosa Negra. So 40% off of the Rosa Negra and 40% off the white. And you could get that with the sponsor or without. Your choice. Plus, they have about a dozen other items that are 30% off. So, wow. and all the white jerseys for men, women, kids, you name it, they're all 40%.
In store and website.
Yep. And if you orders over $99, ship for free. So. Great place to go. I got this shirt here at Caneswear. This is one of those coaches polos, but this is like a collarless polo.
Looks nice.
Yeah, it's got.
It would look nicer on me though.
Well, you could go to Caneswear.
Gonna have to do it.
They don't have a lot of these though. They didn't get a lot of them in stock. The company just didn't send them a bunch. But they still have some, and I thought it was cool. It's the same material as that other polo that they have. I think you have the black one, don't you?
Right. I've got the black one, yeah.
Same material. It's good stuff.
Nice. I'm probably going to have to add it to my collection.
Yeah.
Next write-up, I'm getting some.
I wasn't planning on getting the white jersey, but at 40% off, I mean, maybe.
It's time to do it.
Right.
And for how long is this? Did he say how long it's going to be?
No, they didn't say. So go in and do it quick.
Before they change it, guys. So go and get your stuff at Caneswear.
Exactly. And again, Chris Arjuna is helping to promote. I think he bought some stuff from Caneswear as well. We're not just saying this because they're our sponsor. They are, and that we thank them for that. But we shop there, and so we have that's also where we go. So they're throwing out some good prices. So
best prices in anywhere. So yeah, you guys got to do it.
You're not getting those kind of prices at the stadium when you buy it when you buy a jersey. So so go to Caneswear, and while you're doing it, you're supporting a local business. And right now, local businesses need your help. So
exactly.
Ed,
Peter Brown.
Why don't we say hello to a few people?
Yes, sir. Let's start with Esteban Dido, one of your favorite people. also, like you, not a liker of Ted.
I love Ted. What are you talking about?
We got Anthony Ornelas, I think you pronounce it.
Yeah, you said I pronounce it. I don't know if I pronounced it right, though.
Okay. Our good bud Chris Arjun, you could see him at your local stadiums taking pictures.
Yep.
And of course, we can't miss One World, One Goal. She's always supporting, always with us.
Yes. All right. Well, a little bit light today, but so if you're in and you come in late, say hello. We are doing the show a little bit late tonight because we wanted to, let everybody pay attention to the U.S. national team game, and including ourselves. What was cool, Ed, was that the U.S. team. I don't know how you watched it because it was on Spanish TV, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was also on Paramount Plus. I have Paramount Plus. I'm not sure how you watched it, but on Paramount Plus, Inter Miami's play-by-play announcer, Andres
Cordero.
I couldn't remember his last name. I wanted to say Cantor, but I knew that was wrong. He's doing the play-by-play on Paramount Plus, so that's kind of cool hearing Inter Miami's guy, doing well there, doing some CBS games.
He does a good job. Nice, man. He does some good stuff with our guy for covering Inter Miami. So it's only a matter of time for him. He was doing beIN Sports as well, I think. So
right.
I'm not sure. I don't know what's up with beIN Sports. I think they're not going to be around for long or something.
I don't know. They're hanging in there. I know Kaylin Kyle still works over there. I see you're sending out some pictures here and there. I'm not sure if Andres works there or not, but he definitely has got this World Cup qualifiers Paramount Plus gig on top of the Inter Miami. So yeah, it's just kind of cool hearing our own Inter Miami guy calling some U.S. national team games. This is basically CBS. We're working for CBS, so it's good stuff.
Awesome, Peter. Oh, let's get to it, man. What a depressing weekend. But let's start with, we're fresh in our minds. We just saw the game.
Yeah.
And you put up the number 2. Guys, if you got any thoughts, don't forget to dial 786-474-4435, and we will listen to what you have to say about the USA game or, Inter Miami.
Look, we kind of decided to go the direction of talking about the US game. 1, it's happening tonight. And 2, we were tired of talking about the same old with Inter Miami. But we will talk about it because there is one new juicy thing. Plus, we do already have one voicemail in the queue from earlier today to talk about Inter Miami. So we will definitely talk about Inter Miami. But yeah, let's start off by what we saw fresh in the game and a very flat U.S. national team. I think there was 7 player changes in the game, some due to injury, some due to not being able to travel because they play for English teams. And if they traveled to Panama, which is considered I think they call it a red COVID country, they would have to quarantine for 10 days before going back to England. So there's, I think, 3 players that skipped that game and then went directly to the next game, which is, I don't know.
They're playing in Columbus.
Columbus, right?
They're playing against El Salvador, I think it is. No,
right.
Costa Rica.
Okay. Columbus is always a pretty good home field for a U.S. national team, so we would hopefully they bounce back after this loss against Panama. But Ed, what did you think? I mean, the Greg Berhalter, like I said, some of the changes he had to make, some he chose to make, like Ricardo Pepi not starting. That's the darling of the tournament right now so far.
What in tournament? I've never been a Berhalter fan. Just don't think he's. I think we needed a better coach, a little more experience. I mean, he's got experience, but I just don't think he was.
He's doing fine. He's got a young team though. So,
but it's annoying, man. When it's not broke, you don't fix it, or
I hear you.
Pepi should have started, man. I mean, a lot of these guys that could have played didn't play, and it's just you just don't mess with the lineup that much. I think
Well,
he
it sounds
went
like you're
crazy.
going. It sounds like you're going down the path of Chris Arjun here, is saying USA lose. I guess everybody can blame Phil for that as well. So it's like you're going down the let's just blame the coach thing, which is just like what Inter Miami fans do, and that's all I've been reading this weekend. After that loss is all the social media stuff about Phil. So yeah, Chris is right. So you're going down that path as well, there, Ed.
I have to, Peter, because I think this was a winnable game. We just, he just did what he thought, was best, which, I don't think was that good. But whatever. I mean, we lost a game that we should have been at least able to tie, I think. And, we're still in second place.
Okay,
that's good.
Yeah, I didn't check.
But now we've got Panama right behind us.
Mm-hmm.
We're still ahead of them because of a goal difference. Mexico was winning. So if they continue to win, they'll be up by 3 points.
Yeah, no, the announcers were saying that this is the first time Panama's ever beat the U.S. in World Cup qualifying.
Can you believe it? Ever. Even in their own country.
Yeah. So, why do you think, and guys in the chat, why do you think that it's such a struggle for U.S. national teams to play in these CONCACAF countries? Now, I've always heard that people say, well, poor playing conditions, the fields. Well, the field looked fine. I saw some water here and there on it. I heard they said it had rained, but overall, the field looked fine. So you can't blame the field. Sometimes I've heard that the conditions of the hotels are bad, and so there are restless nights and things like that. But at the end of the day, no matter which generation of U.S. national team, it seems to always be the same thing. They struggle on the road in CONCACAF, and I just don't understand why.
I think it's they've got the old tradition in Latin American countries of the fans stay outside of the hotels, and they make they're making noise the whole night so the guys can't sleep. The typical stuff that would happen over there. I imagine they're going through that stuff. And, being in those stadiums, it's very hostile. Here in the States is nothing compared to the things that they, get thrown over there.
Man, I think my dog is making commentary on this game as well. He's sitting down by my feet and just letting it rip. I mean, it stinks in here.
Wow, man, that's not a good.
There's not much. I was looking
for my dog.
Not much
Can't
worse
find
than dog farts. My goodness.
Oh yeah.
God, he's killing me here, Ed.
Yeah, that chuck wagon sometimes doesn't go down right.
I think there's some commentary right there on the game.
Well, I think we were stinky. I'll tell you that much in both Inter Miami and the United States. But yes, we were missing some of our top players. Peter, we were missing. Who do we mention? Gosh, I'm forgetting all the names right now. We've got a couple injuries. McKinney, I think, was one of them. The party animal. He wasn't around due to injury, I think, but maybe he was out partying as well.
No, it's some sort of injury. I mean, this time.
Yeah, he's one of our top players. Who else did I forget to mention? We got a few still out.
I mean, we've got some other injuries. Pulisic's out, injuries. Yeah. The funny thing is I'm still just getting to know this team because so many of them are young. Like thinking about Pepi, he's just only got a few caps. He's just popped up onto the scene straight from FC Dallas. I mean, I'm looking at this guy, and then I look at my daughter, and it's like, man, he's just like a year older than my daughter. I'm like, he's so young out there, and he looks good. I don't know if he can keep it up or what, but I mean, even when he first came into the game, just his first touches were like little back passes and stuff. The guys definitely got some promise.
I think he came in too late, man.
He did.
He did. I was just like, come on, man. We needed something earlier, especially right after the goal. Mm-hmm.
I think it also looked better once Tyler Adams came in. Now, of course, I think the goal happened after he came in, but they started to play better. But that wasn't the only cross that almost went in. So they were throwing in bunches of crosses. corners and the goalkeeper just getting barely a finger on it here and there.
Yeah, I feel that was a game that we should have taken at least a point away from them. It didn't happen.
Esteban says, no excuses allowed is what best applies to U.S. men's national team and Inter Miami. So no excuses. We're not making excuses. We're just trying to figure it out. Just trying to figure out why. But
we don't know why in tarnations this happens to us, man.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, I was just looking forward to seeing the USA get some more points.
I thought after I watched the Jamaica game, I thought they looked great. So I thought, coming into this Panama game, I felt, pretty confident for the team. But now they have to play their next game, and
they need to win.
They've got to win, and you said that's against Costa Rica. Yep,
they're playing against Costa Rica in Columbus, and that we need to get the points.
Yep,
I think that game just ended with. Let me look real quick to see what the other results are. Costa Rica turned it around. They were losing 1-0 to El Salvador, which was kind of a surprise. But yes, El Salvador also had one of their players red carded. They were winning in the beginning, and then Costa Rica came from behind and were able to get the points. Jamaica keeps losing points. I think we can safely say Jamaica's is just about out. Canada is getting more points. Canada's been rather strong lately, man. They're hanging in there. Of course, Panama beat the U.S. Mexico's beating Honduras. So if things continue the way they are, Mexico's going to be up on top with 11 points. USA and Panama right behind. Canada's right behind us, 7 points. It's in Costa Rica's got 6. El Salvador's got 5. And Honduras and Jamaica. Well, Honduras got 3 points. Jamaica 2. But we're just about halfway through the all the games, and it looks like there's still El Salvador could still get in there. We've got 6 teams basically that are fighting for the 3 positions of the automatic berths to the World Cup. So it's going to be interesting to see.
They never make it easy. They never make it easy. Inter Miami. Both teams. U.S. men's national team never makes it easy. Heck, last World Cup they really didn't make it easy because they didn't make it in.
And that one really hurt because they were just all they needed, I think, was a tie or something like that. And if I don't remember,
I don't remember.
It was. They had everything to go through and they didn't, so that was a disappointment. But
all right, Ed. Let's switch gears.
You're just like I don't. This is depressing me.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a fun game.
Peter,
to watch.
I'd love to say, I'd love to be more energetic and to be more positive, but I can't.
Right.
And now we're just gonna keep talking about Debbie Downers.
But what's funny is I know more about Inter Miami, and I'm more invested in Inter Miami because I should be equally as invested in the U.S. national team, but there's so many young players. I'm still getting to know them. With this run, so, but I'm definitely ready to talk.
Let's move on to the next disappointment then. Let's go.
let's
Happy Sunday, guys.
I don't know. Let's hang on a second. Let's
You're going to the call.
Yeah. Did you start to? Could you hear that for a second there?
Yeah. I heard it.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure if it was playing. All right. Let's go and listen to this voicemail. This will kick off, some Inter Miami talk.
Happy Sunday, guys. My second time calling in. I called in last week. Napoleon Picanha calling you from Deerfield Beach, Florida. Funny enough, I'm sitting here grilling myself some picanha steaks, enjoying the beautiful Sunday that we have going on, trying really hard to forget about the things that I was watching yesterday against the Red Bulls. Listen, guys, I don't even know where to start. I know we all watched the game. We're all loyal fans. First thing I'm going to say, starting with the back line, Mr. Liram, put him on a package, wrap it up, next day ship it via FedEx, get a tracking number, and send him over to the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Rowdies!
That man, I believe, has absolutely no reason of why he's being playing. I know we don't have more players in that position, but anything can be better than Leardom. That mistake was absolutely atrocious. On the midfield, man, how much do we miss Gregory, right? Gregory and Matuidi have this little thing going for a little bit, but now I feel like Matuidi has completely given up. I know that the chances to make the playoffs are kind of slim, and I think the man is already looking for his vacation in the Caribbean or in the Mediterranean in a couple of games. There's absolutely no lack of understanding play. There's no play between those two, and it was just kind of sad to watch. Moving forward, you have all these problems with Higuain. He keeps complaining, and now I understand why he complains, because he's the only one that is trying to actually create some sort of game or try to, filter some passes through the lines, try to make people play. Pizarro's absolutely lost. He's another one of those players that I believe that has completely given up. And then one of my biggest disappointments, actually, too, Morgan and Robinson, right? So under Alonso, Morgan was our superstar. The man was allowed to run up and down that right flank, crossing, throwing balls and actually making goals left and right. And if Inter Miami wanted to create some potential for players and try to sell some players and generate some money, like, why would you stop developing and letting Morgan continue to do that play? And I believe that is on Neville. I believe the way that Neville creates this play and the way his style of play is has completely shut off Morgan to the point that his crosses are horrible. He's playing bad. Higuain has completely taken over the corners because Morgan's corners were horrendous. I feel like Morgan's confidence is on the floor. And Robinson, last but not least, I'm very disappointed in his play. He's young. He has a lot of room to grow, but at the same time, he lacks the skill sets, the smarts. It's been like maybe 3 or 4 games where I watch him off sides all the time in passes that could be goals.
All right. And, the clock got him.
How long do people have, Peter? That's something maybe we need to let people know.
3 minutes.
3 minutes, guys.
I could set it to longer, but we don't really want people to go on long tirades, so leave that to us.
Yeah. 3 minutes is good enough.
Yeah, the idea is you get your thoughts in there, and so yeah, you got 3 minutes to get it out, or you call back like some of our regulars do. But
great points.
He's making picanha at that time, though. This was in the afternoon. Nice. I mean, I wonder if this guy's Brazilian or not.
Probably. He's got the last name, and unless that's his not his real last name, but
I doubt his real last name is picanha, and he's making.
Man, you never know.
I guess.
I've heard some weird last names in my day.
I've gotten pretty good at making that picanha myself. Being married to a Brazilian wife, you kind of got to get.
Well, how come you haven't invited me to a picanha, a Peter Brown picanha?
I don't know.
Not that confident yet.
No, it's been coming out good. It's been coming out good lately. I seem to have figured it out. Nice. Lately, I've been quite the cook lately. I've been having to cook my wife's not here, so I got to cook all the time since she's in Brazil right now. So it's me and my daughter, and I got to cook all the time. But so this lots of good points there by Mr. Picanha. The last one, he was blaming Neville on Morgan, and I just don't know if you could blame Neville. I mean, he's doing the same basic thing as he did under Alonso. He's still playing the wing. Yeah, he's got a little bit more defensive responsibilities now, but he's still playing on the wing like he was before. And nothing Neville does makes your crosses crap, and his crosses are crap. He's. I was at Caneswear actually talking to the guys recently, talking about some of the players, and they said that Morgan was popular amongst people that come in to the store, asking like who's the best player, and they suggested maybe Morgan, and I was like, well, not anymore.
Right.
I would probably give it to Gregory. He's the most impact, but yeah. It's definitely not Morgan this year, and so there was a big drop off, and I don't know how much you could blame the coach on this. I mean, he puts out the players, and at this point they're not delivering. To me, it's the players. It's not Neville at this point. It's just the players, and our attack is. I think it's the fewest goals in the entire league. I think is
right.
We have that nice record to hang up.
Yeah, and I've got one thing I got to add in there, Peter, is it's also the inconsistency of the position where Gonzalo Higuaín is playing. He throws himself back and plays as a number 10 so often that I think that affects the way that Morgan is playing, because he wants, he's looking for that guy that's going to be up top, and sometimes Higuaín's not there. We've got Robbie, who's sometimes moves up there, but you've seen it. Robbie sometimes in that last game he had a chance to score and he didn't. He just
right.
It's so much so that Gonzalo took a shot that he probably could have made a pass to him, and he preferred to take the shot because I don't think he's got confidence in the kid. He's not scoring, so.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to. That was a lot of chatter about. He's been a different player since his Chile stuff. Robinson, he had a couple hot games. So.
Pizarro also had a couple of great games. He went to Mexico. He came back and he was crap.
Right. Yeah, and I can't blame the coach on that. So, All right, so I actually did not get to watch a lot of this game because I had to drive my daughter to homecoming. It was the homecoming dance this weekend, so I had to go and take care of that. But I did listen to it the entire time I was in the car, and then I caught a little bit. But during the game when Higuaín potentially scored, I was actually listening. And so I didn't get to see it, but now we do have a couple images to look at. But because this is people are asking for us to talk about this, Ed. Chris Arjun is saying Higuaín was on or offside on his disallowed goal. Now, if the way they reported it on the app through the audio was that they waved it as offsides, then they went to the VAR, referenced the VAR, and then she made some sort of hand gesture that said it was a goal. Higuaín started to celebrate or something real quick, and then he called it off, and then he got mad because so that makes it up. Right. That makes it even more dramatic that she made the wrong hand gesture by mistake, and then on top of that, potentially made the wrong call.
Right.
So Ed,
well, the video that I saw when I saw that whole play. I got happy because they scored, but I was like, I think he's offside.
Yeah,
and sure enough, they called it. But the sideline ref, he never raised his arm. So, and he was running right next to him. He was like right there. I don't know if you see that in the pictures.
No, you don't see the ref. But here's one image. Clearly looks offside by a mile. Right, this is one image,
right.
And this is an image that I'm going to show here that Inter Miami put out, and I got this from Franco Panizzo's Twitter, but Inter Miami put this out,
right,
where he looks,
and it looks like he's
onside from that position,
right, and you don't see where the ball is being. You could see the ball being.
Well, you can see the ball getting played. You could see it. Maybe it's hard to see on this. But I've got it, fairly large on my screen. So in this screenshot, the ball is basically right attached to the player's foot. I mean, it's just leaving his foot right there. And at that time, Higuaín is onside in this image. But this one, same basic shot. Timing at the same time, where the ball is just at his feet, and he is offside. By a lot.
Right.
So it's really a really hard decision. And I guess, I hang on. What am I doing? I guess, if there's any doubt in the call, you've got to go with the rule of the field. Whatever the referee, said at that moment. if there's any doubt. And if I'm looking at those two images, there clearly is doubt.
Right. So she should have said goal.
No goal.
Oh, no goal. Gotcha.
Because her call on the field was offsides, right?
Right.
And
that was her call, because the other ref, the sideline ref, never put up the flag.
Okay, but she called it offsides.
She did.
Okay, so if her call was offsides, then she looks at the VAR, and it is not 100% obvious that, hey, I was wrong and I need to overturn this. Then the call goes with the field. And if she's looking at these two images, clearly this image onside, this image offside. So that means there's a question. And to me, the way I understand the rules and everything, if there's any doubt, you've got to go with the rule of the field.
Right.
Now, she may have made a bad call to begin with, right? That goes to, her original offsides call just may have been a bad call. But if as far as reviewing, the VAR, if there's any doubt, you've got to go with the play on the field. Now, Esteban wants us to talk about this, and Peter Ed, what do you all think about Neville complaining about Inter Miami got cheated when Inter Miami had only one shot on goal? Is he trying to muddle the water to avoid having to answer coaching related issues? I don't know if he's trying to muddle the water per se. I just think he feels like he was cheated. But and he has a point where and I didn't know this until he said this in this post game, where he said in the last two games, come Monday morning, he got word from the league that the calls against them were wrong, that there should have been a goal allowed here or a penalty there, or whatever the calls were that went against Inter Miami that negated goals. He was told Monday morning that they should have counted. So he's feeling like we've been cheated, and now he's looking at this one saying, "Oh, here we go again. We've been cheated." Now, to my what I think as far as what Esteban is his question is, and I've been saying this for a while, that you can't blame the referee if you put yourself in that position where you're not playing a good game. You're not getting a lot of shots on goal. You're not, your one shot is there was a mistake on it. If you played better, you would not be totally relying on one call. Mm-hmm. If you played better, if you actually had some possession, if you looked decent, you wouldn't. One mistake, because referee mistakes happen in every game at every level. And if you put yourself in that position where you're 100% relying on the ref calling a perfect game, because we sucked that game. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think, going back to Esteban's question, do you think Phil is trying to muddle the water when he's complaining about, the ref when they only have one shot on goal?
Yeah, I think he's got a point where, they got cheated out of a couple of calls, but all around the team's doing terrible. There's nothing really that I don't know if he's hanging by a thread. I don't think he's going to lose his position this year. I think they're going to give him a chance for next year, just because we could say he's friends with Beckham, or I think Alonso should have been given another chance, because these weren't teams that they built. And next year, I think that Phil's going to be able to get players that he wants, and he's going to be able to build a team the way that he wants it to be. He's already talked about bringing up some players from Fort Lauderdale. I think that's something important. We're going to have to,
right,
because of all the penalty we're going to get, over $1 million for the next couple of years. So I think then he's going to have to answer. I think he's still got at least another 6 months starting the next season.
And Chris Arjuna is saying that Fort Lauderdale's playing right now. They're up 3-2 after being down 2-1. So I saw a game of theirs recently. When was it? I forgot. And
Wednesday, I think it was.
Right. I thought it was in the middle of the week. Yeah. Where
Yeah.
They didn't look good in that game. So.
Yeah, I think you mentioned a comment. You WhatsApped me, and you said you were watching the game and that they were up 1-0, and then it all went to hell.
Yeah, I don't even think they were up. I think if I remember, I'd have to look at my messages to you. But I think I don't know. What did they lose? 4-0, 4-1, something. I don't know. It was bad.
4-1 or something like that.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
They did.
You
not
said
play
Beckham
well.
looked kind of good.
Right, Beckham actually had a couple good crosses in, surprisingly. It's funny, is watching Beckham, I keep thinking he's going to suck in that. I'm kind of, when I look at him, I'm looking at him negatively and then surprised when he plays well. And as I was doing it, I realized, hey, I'm thinking of this kid in a negative way, and I don't really know why, other than maybe, hey, I'm fighting against the fact that there's some nepotism here, and I don't really like that. So in deep down, I'm like, this kid doesn't deserve it. But at the end of the day, he's playing pretty good. I'm not going to say he's the best player on the field or anything, but he actually had some good crosses in and made a couple of good defensive plays. Didn't touch the ball a whole lot in that game. Right. So, but yeah, speaking of and let's next week, let's everybody come prepared. And to talk about, and I thought about doing that this week, but then wanted to talk U.S. Let's kind of go over and review the Fort Lauderdale squad and just think about who we would replace on Inter Miami for someone on Fort Lauderdale. So getting value, basically.
That's going to happen. There's no way out of it,
right?
Because.
We could go into a deeper dive where we kind of go player by player next week or something, where we could take the whole show kind of talking about it, or half the show, because we're kind of wrapping up now. I mean, I want to end this a little earlier tonight than the usual hour, just because father, mother,
mom, dad.
I got a lot on my plate right now. So but speaking of Fort Lauderdale players, one of them did get to play, got to his first chance with Inter Miami because of the hardship rule, and that's Mabika. And what'd you think of Mabika in that loss?
I think he looked pretty decent. I think he's he's making a case for himself. It's a position that we need. We don't have people right now, so dude, and plus he's big, he's tall. That's a good thing. We need some height there, especially for
he's a big guy, yeah.
Yeah. So I think he comes in handy in more ways than one.
Yeah, I like him. I think he could bulk up a little bit. He's still pretty skinny, but he looked pretty good. He looked calm in there. So that's definitely Baldwin. 4 agrees. Mabika looked great. Chris Arjun says Modesto Mendez and Mabika were solid at the back for Fort Lauderdale, so they have a decent partnership. So yeah, let's get into some more of that next week. We'll kind of even look at like some numbers of like our salary and stuff like that, and because our buddy Ted Sikowski put up on Facebook some numbers, and I'll rip them off from him, let him do the work for us. And he put up some numbers that he did a little research. So we'll kind of rip some of that stuff off and talk about some of that next week. But so next up for Inter Miami,
who do we have?
Here's the thing, they've got how many more games do they have? They have to pretty much win like every game.
Yeah.
They pretty much have to win every game in order to make it. Because
they've got 3 home games, because I checked it up. One's on a Wednesday and the other 2 on a Saturday.
Right.
And basically the season's just about up. We've got 6 or 7 games left. Well, how many? Let's see.
Yeah. So next here we got Columbus. So we played New York. We got Columbus up next in Columbus. So this is part of that still long road trip. And that's, the Columbus is not having their best year this year, but they did win that. What was it? The Campeones Cup. So they could definitely beat us. No problem. I mean, anybody could.
They beat a Mexican team. Yeah.
Right. And then luckily we come back home 4 days later, and we're playing Toronto and then Cincinnati. Those are two winnable games. And then we travel to Atlanta. That's winnable, but it won't be easy. And then they have New York City at home, which and I thought. And then they finish off. Here it is. Yeah, I was like, I thought they finished with New England, and you figured, when Neville was talking about the fact that we needed a certain amount of points, he did some calculations, and the calculations were to win most games, I think, and I think they had probably most likely had this one right here kind of penciled in as okay. We know this one's a loss. Mm-hmm. I think
they what might happen there, we might get lucky because New England's, they know they're in the playoffs, so they might rest some of their players.
Yeah, that's possible.
Cross your fingers. That might happen. And we might be able to sneak at least a point off. At least a point. Because the way we've been playing, I don't have much faith in them.
Yeah, exactly. I think, our caller mentioned the fact that Matuidi is already on vacation, and I can't disagree. I've not been a fan of his since he got here. Every once in a while, he surprised me, but for the most part, I think
last game he was terrible.
I think for his entire time in Miami, it's been bad.
He had flashes, but I think the last game he was just slow. He was getting beat every time, and just not worth the money that was spent on him.
Right, exactly, and so that's the other problem is we got to kind of do a little research, and maybe I can do some over the week as far as length of contracts. But I think most of these expensive players that we have, I think, still have another year on their contract, and so we as we discussed last week, you could only buy out one contract, so the rest we might get rid of them because they're just not playing well, but it doesn't mean you all of a sudden have that same money available now because whatever that cap hit is still going to be applied if you can't buy him out.
Unless you can do something.
Yeah,
what can you do? For example, with Carranza, he's worth a lot of money. He's getting paid a lot of money, and he's not playing. So he's not really worth it. They need to get rid of him.
Yeah,
unfortunately, he's young.
He's been a flop. I mean, you could send him, let him hang out with Pellegrini.
There you go. That's what I'm thinking too. And Matuidi's got to go. I think Pizarro's on his way out. I've heard a lot of talk of him going to Chivas in Mexico. There's apparently some guy that's interested in taking him and Vela from LAFC. So
is Vela's contract up?
I think it is. So, hey, if he wants to go, let him go. Matuidi needs to go. We've got two DP spots right there. If they hopefully bring somebody that's worth it, I'd be grateful.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's dig into some more money talk and looking at Fort Lauderdale and stuff like that. Some of that next week, unless something dramatic comes up, we'll kind of think about that next week. And you guys in the chat and everything that are here now, you can come to the show kind of prepared with reviewing some of Fort Lauderdale. Some of you may watch a lot of the Fort Lauderdale games, and some of you may not. So you can do your own little bit of research, so you can add to the show via either voicemail or through chat. But I don't know.
Like what Baldwin Ford's been saying, he says he's got that 2022 feeling now with Les Tam and Gam.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to look at the young players and Baldwin's telling us homework, really? Hey, look, man, you don't have to, but I mean, just some of you guys like to be active, and so
we appreciate it.
Yeah. Esteban is saying we should replace Neville sooner rather than later. Keeping him simply sends a message to the fans: mediocrity and/or nepotism is accepted, and you can count that will show up on next year's attendance.
Well, I think what's going to show up on next year's attendance is the fact that they've raised the prices.
Money,
Yeah,
money, money.
And they really shouldn't have. I know a lot of people that don't want to
Right.
re-up. I'm rethinking it too because I might have to spend some. If I'm going to spend my money, I want to watch the games, but I might do it in the general admission because it's just the price is crazy.
Right.
I get 2 tickets. I'm not as rich as Peter Brown, so he for him it's no problem. But he did reduce from 3 to 2.
Yeah, I did a reduction, just like why waste money? For one, my daughter doesn't want to go, and two,
I want to say hello to Susanna Pollack. How are you? She's one of a follower. She's been with Miami Fusion since the Fusion days, and she goes out as often as possible to the game. So she just sent me a message right now that she's watching. So thanks for watching. We do it every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. usually when there's not a game in the way. So
right.
Thanks.
Yeah,
for
she's
watching.
been around a long time, so thanks for watching. But I think people. It goes back to what we were saying earlier, and I don't agree with Neville. I'm sorry, with Esteban, that we should replace Phil sooner rather than later. And I was also listening to, the audio broadcast, and these guys are around the team more often than we are. Fernando Fiore and
Cordero.
I forgot our friend, our ex-striker's name all of a sudden.
I forgot too.
Dutch guy, he's awesome. I just forgot his name right now.
Gosh,
man.
I know.
We know him well, but it just
I'll remember in a bit.
Anyways, those guys were saying how they've watched practice and stuff like that, and they're well organized practices. This seems to be well put together as organization wise. So it's not like it's all willy nilly and the players are just doing whatever they want. It seems like they have game plans. This whole formation with 3 in the back was a good idea for this team. It's worked to some extent.
Yeah,
and so. I just don't think replacing the coach every season is the answer. You're just going to end up in the constant state of rebuilding. It hasn't done well for Cincinnati. They're constantly switching out coaches, so and they're looking for new people. And I just, as an example of a bottom dweller, you don't want to be that. I think you need to. I think the problem is more the players. And when we talk about Alonso, I think my biggest issue with Alonso, other than the fact that he didn't speak English, and that bugged me, because that's a communication problem with part of the team, but also his late substitutions drove us all crazy. We all went nuts with his late substitutions. And really, Neville's substitutions have been pretty good. I mean, more or less timely. More or less, I think. And with the talent that he has, he's made, I guess, the correct decision from time to time. It's like, it's kind of like was it a good idea to put a specific player on the field? Was it, or not? Well, none of them are performing up, so it's not his fault. I don't think.
Right.
I think the players have to take ownership of this. And so I don't know. I just don't think changing out the coach every
year is the answer for it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wait. We're going to go back and forth with Esteban again. He's saying what Inter Miami did with Alonso was more unfair than that if they did with Neville. As far as nepotism, you're right. Beckham has seemed to learn the Banana Republic ways. Okay. What they did with Alonso was more unfair. He says. Okay. I mean, I don't agree. But okay, let's go. We all have different opinions. Fine. And Ed, you feel like that it wasn't fair for Alonso, but does doing the same thing to Neville make it right? That 2 wrongs make a right? So they screwed it up. They got rid of Alonso too early. So now you think, okay, well, let's do it again. Since they did it to Alonso, now we got to do it to Neville because we did it to Alonso. That's dumb.
Right. I think it's just the way it is. I think there was miscommunication more than anything when it came to Alonso because he got the idea that they were going to fire him, so that kind of messed up the relationship, and he went public with it.
Right.
So that kind of messed up the relationship with the ownership.
Yeah, that was bad.
Because
I forgot about that.
it created drama, a lot of drama for your mama, and it became probably a toxic environment because he said, she said, type of things and whatever. So they said, you know what? Okay, the damage was done. We should just let him go. Thomas Rongen, yes.
Yes, we forgot his name, yes.
She's right. Like, how could we forget Thomas Rongen?
I agree with Baldwin here, says, just keep firing the coach every year isn't the solution, especially if they just hire another family friend, unless his friend is Zidane. But yeah, that's my point. It's just
I take Zidane.
Just firing the coach every year is not the solution. I think you got to give him time. So anyways, one question here, Chris asked, and I don't know the answer to this, but does anyone know if the stadium is still adding the sponsor logo on team jerseys bought last season, or is it just for this season shirt only? I don't know, but I do know Caneswear will do it.
Go to Caneswear.
$10 and they'll put it on for you. So I do know that. And then Jazz Fusion, welcome to the show, was asking, when does the off-season planning episode air? Now. We started.
We're trying not to.
Right, but I think we're talking about doing some of that next week, when we talk about looking at the Fort Lauderdale team and just saying who from Fort Lauderdale we want to take. That's off-season planning. Right there. So it's starting now because there's nothing else to talk about. They just keep losing. I mean, just saying the same thing over and over again. Pizarro disappears. Pizarro isn't playing well enough. Higuain throws his hands up in frustration.
And he does this all the time. Have you noticed?
He does that.
Yeah.
He's not
an Argentinian thing.
Yeah, he's not getting the service that he needs, so he has to come back and play too deep. But we're the weakest scoring team in the league. Robinson has dropped off. Lewis Morgan can't cross. I mean, it's the same thing we're going to talk every week. So let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was already the start of the next season at this point, because it's...
Jazz Fusion is saying he expected U.S. men's national team stuff via the title. Well, we did. First half of the show.
You missed it, man. You gotta look back. But yeah,
first half of the show we talked U.S. national team, but then, to be honest, Jazz, most of the questions in the chat were about Inter Miami, so felt like it was time to switch gears. You guys kind of drive the show in a lot of ways, so we switched gears to that. But just finishing up with that. Both teams suck right now, but there's hope with the U.S. men's national team. There's a lot of talent there, and there's hope for that team to do well.
They're playing in Columbus. That's like their home. They usually win there. Yeah, that's where we did the Dos Ceros against Mexico. So we got Costa Rica, who hasn't been playing that well. We got a chance. Oh shoot! Look at that.
Right.
Lauderdale's down.
Ed, he's coming at you. Intentionally, Ed. Don't care for national team soccer. Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess he's saying you don't care about national team soccer. I don't know. I don't understand that. But all right. Well, anyways, Ed, I think that's all. I think we've run out of steam a little bit. We're a little bit depressed tonight. Both of our,
Yeah, man. We need Inter Miami to start, give us at least a tie so we could be a little, more positive, man. But it's just hard to be positive with this team, and the U.S. also losing a game doesn't help. I was going to be pumped up because I was like, okay, we're going to at least get a point from Panama. We've never lost against them.
Right. Yeah, and I just thought about that as I'm looking over here at the Inter Miami schedules. Both the next two games that we're going to be watching are both in Columbus, because Inter Miami's going to go to Columbus and U.S. men's national team is going to be playing in Columbus.
Look at that.
So I don't know when's the U.S. national team game.
It should be on Wednesday, right?
I'm
pretty sure it's Wednesday.
It is. It is against Costa Rica, Wednesday, October 13th. And then we are playing 3 days later up there on the 16th. So on the weekend. So there you go.
Gotcha.
Columbus is getting some action.
A lot.
All right, everybody. I think we've kind of run out of steam a little bit tonight, but we thank you guys for hanging in there with us and having some fun this late edition of FMTV
Football.
Weekly. As always,
you need some sleep, Peter. You need some sleep.
I'm tired.
Because you're being a mom and you're being a dad.
Yeah. But I mean, I actually had a good day today. I didn't cook picanha, but I did enjoy my day out. I have 5 coconut trees, and they're all of a sudden just all started falling in the last few days. And so I'm just opening up a bunch of coconuts and draining out the water of the coconuts because my wife likes that. And then so I was doing that for a long time. And then chilled. But yeah, it's tiring. But hey, next week we're gonna do it again, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And in the meantime, you can definitely go to Canesware and take advantage of. And if you didn't hear it in the beginning of the show, that's to go and take advantage of this sale that they're having, where all the home white jerseys are 40% off with or without the sponsor logo. So you want that white home jersey? No problem, 40% off. You want the last year's Rosa Negra jersey? 40% off. And then a bunch of dozen other items at 30% off. So you can't beat those deals. So head over to Canesware, and while you're there, just mention Football Miami TV. That lets them know that their sponsorship is working. So thanks so much to Canesware, and thanks so much to you guys. Ed, I will see you next week. And thanks, everybody.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.